Well, the right fix, much like a lot of these government programs, is to fix how we give out the loans in the first place, right? When you look at the delinquency rates, the highest delinquency rates and the worst ROI on investment is from the for-profit institutions, meaning they're admitting people, they're getting profits from the taxpayer of the U.S. paying for students that maybe shouldn't be going to college in the first place, or should be taking different majors or going to different kinds of programs, right? I mean, that's one of the biggest issues in fixing this problem, is fixing the source of it, because the student loans are still being given out every year like crazy. And we know where the student loans are having the biggest problems, and the biggest delinquency rates are from student loans given to students at for-profit institutions. We can actually point to certain sections, certain areas where you'd argue maybe that student has been getting taken advantage of at some level, or at least the U.S. taxpayer definitely is.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, there's this really, when you think about higher education, it is a classic example of distortions that happen that people don't expect when the government gets involved in doing something that it hopes is altruistic, but it backfires. You look at the price of education, one of the biggest reasons why it did its first step jump when it did was because of Stafford and Pell and everything else, as every single for-profit and not-for-profit education university basically did the math of like, okay, so I don't have to charge everything that everybody pays up to here. They basically get from the government, or they get as easy loans from the government. And then I've just got this margin that I'm going to play with here. And so there's this level of distortion that happened because of everything that the federal government tries to do to make, basically college available to everybody. And so that distortion kind of is caused by everything that we have that we're talking about here. But certainly, I mean, right, a lot of the conversation is about the idea that, hey, when people do end up not being able to afford their student loans, you do, right, push them towards something that is a percentage of income or something else. And I think you're probably going to see that for a lot of people, quite frankly, people who, Joel, to your point, right, college was a bad ROI for, you're going to end up pushing towards that idea of, okay, it's not going to actually be the debt. It's some sort of, a garnishment on your wages. It's a percentage based on what your income is. And that's how you pay it off. And I think that, the logical thing is to have the federal government turn around and push the opposite side of that, lost revenue, back on the colleges, which I wouldn't be surprised if you saw some noise made of that also.
There is great research to show that the increase in student loan availability led to, right? There's great research to show that the increase in student loan availability led directly to colleges increasing their tuition levels because of it. Specifically causal, not just correlated.
Yep.